This is Ray from Ray of Hope. I'm starting up the part 2 of the Pokemon lamp that I am doing for my husband. As you can see, like I told you I was going to do yesterday, I have filled in a little better the background. So we don't have any really light spots or spots that need to be coated again. So this has a total of 3 coats for the background colors. And as you can see, I started with the apricot, came into the yellow, and then went into the flame yellow. That is a very, very light yellow color. My son wanted me to stick my nice little logo that he made for me on here, so it could be in the live stream. So, you know. Without further ado, I am going to start painting the Greninja Ditto. I think I've got this where I can work on it without having to move it around a whole lot. And you'll be able to see the whole thing as I go. So, like yesterday, I'm using Apple Barrel paints. This is Jet Black, Black, and Pavement that I will be using for the Greninja. And I'm going to start with the Jet Black. Now the Jet Black is going on top of the matte black that I have here. I left this out so that I could do a little blending later on. And I'm going to be using 2 different types of brushes. I'm going to use this kind of rounded bristle brush. And I'm going to use there it is. Thought I had it in my hand. Okay. So I'm going to be using these 2 brushes. This one is straight across and flat. And this one is rounded all the way around. And I'm going to start with the rounded, or with the flat brush. And I'm going to cut in all of the Jet Black. Now, this is actually going to be darker than the matte black that is down, but I have to make sure that I am blending the regular and the jet at the same time. So I'm going to bounce back and forth between the 2. But unlike yesterday with the different variations of yellow, I'm going to be brushing off and dipping into the other black. And it's going to be hard to tell the difference while they're wet. But as they dry, you'll be able to tell a slight difference. And it doesn't have to be a whole lot of difference. It just needs to be enough to make it look like shadowing or highlighting without using a gray or a white, because the Greninja is supposed to be black if he is shiny. So now you can see my pencil marks, and I'm kind of going right up to them without completely obliterating them, just to kind of help me with my highlighting and shadowing on my next go round. So in some places I'm going over them, and in some places I'm not. And again, I'm using the jet black on top of the flat black. Now, as it dries, I don't know if you can tell that much of a difference up here. This is flat black, and this is jet black. Makes the jet black makes the flat black kind of look like a really, really, really dark charcoal. As you can see, I'm still leaving some of the pencil marks so that when I go back, I actually have pavement that is a very dark gray as well. And I'm going to use that for the highlights. One of the things that I really like about painting in black with multiple shades of black is how much true dimension you can get from a simple swap in intensity. And while I'm thinking about it, there are several places where the background went over onto the foreground, and we're going to be covering those with the jet black. But if we happen to go over onto the background, we can still go back after this is all dry and touch up the background, which I tend to do anyway, just as my final walkthrough of everything, trying to make it look more uniform. We'll see how it goes, though. I don't know if you can hear this or not. Ratchet. Ratchet. Hi, Mr. Ratchet. Hi, buddy. Is that mama boy? Is that mama boy? He's like, come on, Mom. Leave me alone. Let me go back to sleep. He is spoiled rotten. That's okay. All my kids are spoiled. But they're spoiled with love. Definitely not with materials. You know, I was thinking earlier today, Ray of Hope, the name, came about because when I lost my job in November, I didn't really know what we were going to do. And I didn't really know what to do. um, I know I filed for unemployment and I still have not received a single penny, though it still says pending on the website. But through all of that, God has really been taking care of us. I mean, we're struggling pretty bad right now. But there are so many people out there that have it so much worse than we do. I mean, with everything that's happened in the last couple of months, just in our household, I still sit here and give thanks to God every day that there's a roof over our heads and food on our table, and Brandon still has a job. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because I don't have a right to complaint. Our needs have been met, and it might come right down to the wire like it is right now. But you know, God's been good. God has been so good. And the least I can do is use the gifts that He gave me to teach others about the love Jesus has for everyone. I was sitting at the house a couple weeks after I lost my job, and I was painting because painting was keeping me from going insane. It was keeping my mind and my hands busy so that I wouldn't start spiraling down with depression or anxiety or anything like that so many people are having to deal with these days. And I got to thinking, you know, I'm sitting here with art supplies and a talent that God gave me, and I need to put it to use. I need to give thanks to God for all that He's given me. And I need to put it to use Because what good is a gift if you don't use it? If you put it on the shelf and you look at it and you exclaim, "Oh, how pretty," but you never use it, and what good is it? So I talked with my husband and decided that I was going to try to help our house with commissions, and started talking to friends and family about, hey, I just want to put the word out there that, if anybody is looking for anything special for Christmas, unique, one of a kind things, put them in touch with me because I'm doing commission artwork to try to help my family. Well, my family, they're amazing people. And we were able to have what we needed in the month of December, despite the fact that I wasn't bringing in a paycheck. And now that Christmas is over and the economy is still not recovering with this new president we have in office, I need to start marketing my artwork again, and stay on top of it. Not get a bunch of orders and spend a couple weeks working on all these orders and not promoting my art. So my husband recommended that I start up a YouTube, which I had a YouTube. I hadn't touched it in a long time, but I had a YouTube. And so I took his advice and I started Ray of Hope on YouTube. And yesterday's video was the very first one. And my goal is to put out a video every day till I can get off the ground and make a name that can help my family. Because I know that God's going to catch us. No matter how far we fall, God's going to catch us. But I also know that if I'm not willing to do the work, then God's going to say, if she's not willing to try, then why should I? Okay, I'm not putting words in God's mouth. I really don't mean that. But, no matter what God thinks, my thinking behind it is, why would God do for me if I'm not willing to do what I can for my family? And if I'm not willing to do what I can to spread the gospel? Because that's what we're told to do. Spread the gospel. And I'm saved. April 23rd, 2017. I gave my heart, my life, and my love to the Lord. I gave my faith to the Lord. And many, many, many times, He has answered prayers. And many, many, many times, I thanked him, but I can never thank him enough. There will never be enough thanks in the world to thank him for what he's done for me and for saving my family. It's just not possible. I'm thankful, beyond measure thankful, that God has been such a constant and steady friend. And you know, when the outside world comes crashing in, sometimes it's really hard to see past the moment. Right now is one of those times. Right now, I'm struggling. Right now, my husband is struggling. And it's affecting our attitudes, and it's affecting our home. It's affecting our kids. And we have to take a step back. I have to take a step back and remind myself that God's got this. He's never dropped me before. He's not going to drop me now. And he'll never drop me in the future. And somebody out there needs to hear this. That's why I'm saying it. God will never leave you nor forsake you. All you have to do is ask forgiveness and ask the Lord to come into your heart and your life. That's all you have to do. Well, I don't know if you can tell the difference between the blacks. I can definitely see a huge difference. So now I'm going to switch over to the pavement in apple barrel. Now, this is black. This is jet black. And that is pavement. So the pavement is going to be used sparingly and almost as an afterthought. Kind of to break up where black meets black. That's still wet. I just touched it. That's okay though. I don't know if you can tell or not, but I'm kind of giving just a little bit of dimension, you see? That's all it is. It's not a lot. It doesn't need a lot. And I'm barely putting any on the brush. Okay? I'm just kind of moving it around a little bit. That's all. See? It already looks three-dimensional. Now, I want to grab a little bit of this black, the base black. Come back right here. You'll see why in just a second. Alright, so you see, I just filled in the black, right? So I'm going to grab just a little bit. It's a little too much. Just a little bit. A little bit. And I'm going to pull, drag right down. And blend it. Let's get rid of that black. Do it again. Just a little. Knocked off the excess. It gives that dimension. And I'm blending a little bit of the matte black with the pavement to kind of make the pavement a little bit darker. Good. Right. Again, I'm just mixing some flat black with taking a little flat black and pavement. Getting all the excess off and just tipping my brush. I really don't think this is doing this thing justice. Maybe. We'll see how it turns out. Okay. I think we are done with the black I think. Maybe. Alright. Okay. Actually, you can see the difference in that pretty well. So, now he's got some dimension in his black. He's not all flat black. We like flat black. It goes wonderful with everything. Just about. But flat black gives you no depth whatsoever. Alright, so again, I try to make sure that my brushes are cleaned and flat and nice when I'm done with them, instead of waiting until the end. That way, they don't bend at the end and not stay flat. Alright. Now we are going to work on the little bubbles at all the joints and on the eyes. And to do that, we have two different grays. This one is elephant gray. This one is pewter gray. You can see this one's a little bit darker than this one. And granite gray. So we're going to be using these three in small quantities, of course. And I put them down darkest to lightest. And for this part, I'm actually going to also use some Snow White. And it doesn't take much of this paint. This liquid paint goes a long way. I feel like I'm holding an instrument. So I have all four of those, darkest to lightest, right here. And where did that little round brush go? I'm going to be using the round brush now. And I'm going to start with the lightest, which is the white. And I just barely want to get any on my brush, okay? I do not want to overload this brush because this brush will send it everywhere. Now, I'm going to paint his eyes. Let that dry a little bit. Add it. Just barely tip the black. And go right along the edge of that. And just kind of smooth it out a little bit. That's all. Just smooth it out. There you go. Get the black off the brush. Okay. I'm going to touch the next one. Again, I'm just getting it on the tip. And I'm going to come in just like that. Just like that. Again, that gives depth to the eye. It's not a huge difference in color. But you don't want huge differences in color right now. Now, we want to go with the lightest gray and fill in all the little bubbles. Sometimes, being that I have 4 boys living at home and a teenage girl that moved out about, I don't know, maybe a year ago, sitting in my room where it is nice and quiet is just a huge blessing. So I've got my little notes in. I need to do my eye. Okay. I got the light grays on. Now clean that off a little bit. Not washing it, just cleaning it off. I'm gonna go with the medium gray. And kind of give this a little bit of wipe the excess off. Go to the dark. And we really just want to tip the edge of that medium that we just laid down. Not a whole lot. Just a little bit. Okay, I see where I need to put a little pavement on his eyebrow. Not eyebrow, eyelid. Okay. And he has a red eye, so I'm going to use just a little bit of apple barrel red apple, which I'm going to be using this anyway in just a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right here. I'm also going to go ahead and put some flag red from apple barrel as well. So his eye is red. Okay. And this thing around his face is red. And here, I'm going to make sure my brush is fully loaded. And that using light short strokes to fill in as much as possible, because the harder I press down, the more times I'm going to have to go over it. Gonna have to touch that up. Okay, so I got the base red on. Without cleaning my brush, I've picked up the other red. And I'm just going to kind of go around. Okay, my red. It's starting to really come together and starting to look like the guy. Oops. Sorry, I just got to get that second red out. Because down here on the legs, I painted over one of them. I've got to put it back. I got these little X's down here that I have to paint red. Starting to look really good. Alright. Let that red sit there for just a second. Because I gotta put some of the other red on it. But that is a little too thick at the moment to add the other red to it. But While that's drying, I'm going to come back over here and grab this brush again. And right here and here is blue. It's a little bit lighter than this, but a little bit darker than this. This is Apple Barrel Tropical Blue and Apple Barrel Caribbean, or Caribbean. I say Caribbean, it's tomato. So I'm just going to take a tiny little bit of this one and a tiny little bit of this one. And mix them together. And I think that's going to do it right there. Beautiful. Got it first time. And this is what the color looks like. Sorry. So, I haven't been talking a whole lot in this one like I did before in the first one, but part of that is because I knew this video was going to be really long, and I'm going to do the same thing for this one that I did to the one yesterday. I'm going to speed it up and shorten it, because we are already longer than we were yesterday. Yesterday's video was an hour and 3 minutes, hour and 4 minutes, and I took it down to 17 minutes. So, I'm getting there, figuring out how to do this whole editing thing. But please just bear with me for a little bit while I get it all figured out. Uh-oh. Hi! Nico, look up. Hi, baby. Hi. No, not spoiled at all. Not spoiled at all. Look at that yet. Hi, buddy. Hi. You say hi, mommy? You say hi, mommy? Hi, mommy. No, he's not having it. That's alright. Look at that blue. It just pops. You know, I was looking at the colors of these Pokemon, and my brain keeps going, where did the creators of Pokemon come up with all these colors. There are so many Pokemon. Like, my husband has given me a crash course in Pokemon. Um, Especially since he now has all of our kids playing it. Um, you know, despite the fact that I used to work at GameStop, um, I didn't really know a whole lot about Pokemon. Despite the fact that at one time in high school, I was called Pikachu. Not because of me playing the game. I was called Pikachu because of the way I sneezed. And yes, I have to admit, it really does sound like Pikachu most of the time. Shh, I didn't say that. I'm gonna have to go back with my black and touch up a little bit. But it'll be okay. I'm a messy painter, by the way. But I'm having fun, so. It all balances out in the end, right? Alright, alright, alright. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm done with that. But I think I need this. And I'm just going to grab some of this black and pigment. And just go ahead and tap that blue right on out. Tap that blue right on out. I'm almost done. At least with the Greninja part. I'm not going to do the Ditto tonight. Hi, baby. Hubby's coming in so he can go to bed. And honestly, I need to do the same. So I'm going to finish up this red and call Greninja done. Now I'm using the flag red now over the red apple to give it that distinctive red pop. And with that, I'm going to call Greninja done. I might have to do a little bit of touch-up tomorrow when I do the ditto, but I think it looks good. Leave your comments below, and I will see you tomorrow.